Welcome to the Ultimate 10 Facts channel.
Amazonians and the Lost Tribe. Episode 2. Amazon Rainforest, Brazil. Amazon Rainforest in Brazil, a comprehensive overview. The Amazon rainforest, often referred to as the lungs of the earth, is the world's largest tropical rainforest, covering over 5.5 million square kilometers. Located primarily in Brazil, it spans across 9 South American countries, but about 60% of the forest is within Brazilian territory. The Amazon plays a crucial role in regulating the global climate by absorbing carbon dioxide and producing oxygen. It is also a treasure trove of biodiversity, home to millions of species of plants, animals, and insects. Number 1. Area and geographical impact. The Amazon rainforest covers approximately 4.2 million square kilometers within Brazil alone. It stretches from the Atlantic coast in the east to the Andes Mountains in the west. The Amazon basin is defined by the Amazon River and its tributaries, which drain a vast area of over 7 million square kilometers. The forest acts as a giant carbon sink, sequestering significant amounts of carbon dioxide, which helps mitigate climate change. Additionally, it influences weather patterns both regionally and globally by generating vast amounts of moisture through a process known as transpiration. Number 2. Indigenous tribes and their history. The Amazon rainforest is home to hundreds of indigenous tribes, some of whom have lived in the region for thousands of years. These tribes have developed a deep connection with the forest, relying on its resources for their survival while also preserving its ecosystems. Yanomami tribe. The Yanomami are one of the largest indigenous groups in the Amazon. They inhabit the border areas between Brazil and Venezuela. The Yanomami are traditionally hunter-gatherers and practice shifting cultivation. They have a deep spiritual connection with the forest and believe in the existence of numerous spirits in nature. Kayapo. The Kayapo people are known for their distinctive body paint and elaborate headdresses. They live in the southern part of the Brazilian Amazon and are active in defending their land against deforestation and mining. The Kayapo have successfully used modern technology and global advocacy to protect their territory from environmental threats. Guarani. The Guarani are an indigenous group living in the Brazilian states of Mato Grosso do Sul, Paraná, and Rio Grande do Sul. Their culture and spiritual beliefs are closely tied to the land, and they have a long history of resistance against colonization and land encroachment. Awa. The Awa people, also known as the Guaja, are among the most endangered indigenous groups in the Amazon. They are traditionally nomadic hunter-gatherers, relying on the forest for food and shelter. Deforestation and illegal logging have posed significant threats to their survival. The history of these tribes is marked by resistance against colonization, deforestation, and external threats. Many tribes have successfully defended their territories and preserved their cultures, while others face significant challenges due to encroachment and environmental degradation. We will discuss them later in the future episodes. Number 3. Fauna of the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon rainforest is one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth, home to an astonishing variety of animal species. Many of these species are endemic, meaning they are found nowhere else in the world. Jaguar. The jaguar is the largest predator in the Amazon rainforest. It plays a key role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem by controlling the populations of other species. Jaguars are solitary and elusive, making them difficult to spot in the wild. Amazon river dolphin, also known as the pink river dolphin, this species is unique to the Amazon basin. Unlike oceanic dolphins, these dolphins have flexible necks, allowing them to navigate through the flooded forests. Harpy eagle. The harpy eagle is one of the largest and most powerful eagles in the world. It has massive talons and preys on monkeys, sloths, and other arboreal animals. The harpy eagle is an apex predator in the Amazon rainforest. Poison dart frogs. These small, brightly colored frogs are known for their toxic skin, which indigenous tribes have historically used to poison the tips of glow darts. Despite their size, poison dart frogs are a significant part of the Amazon's food web. Anaconda. The green anaconda is the largest snake in the world by weight and one of the longest. It is a constrictor, meaning it wraps around its prey and suffocates it. Anacondas are semi-aquatic and often found in rivers, swamps, and marshes. Sloths are slow-moving mammals that spend most of their lives hanging upside down in the trees. They have a symbiotic relationship with algae, which grows on their fur and helps camouflage them from predators. Number 4. Flora of the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon is a repository of diverse plant species, many of which are still undiscovered. The flora of the Amazon plays a critical role in the health of the ecosystem and has been a source of medicinal plants, food, and other resources for both indigenous people and the world. Brazil nut tree, one of the most iconic trees of the Amazon, the Brazil nut tree is not only important for its nuts but also for its role in the ecosystem. The trees depend on specific species of bees for pollination and agudas, a type of rodent, for seed dispersal. Rubber tree, historically significant due to the rubber boom in the 19th century, the rubber tree, Hevea brasiliensis, is native to the Amazon. The extraction of latex from these trees was a major economic activity during that period. Kapok tree, the kapok tree, also known as Ceiba pentandra, is one of the largest trees in the Amazon. It can grow up to 200 feet tall and is often considered a sacred tree by indigenous tribes. The kapok tree provides habitat for many species of birds and insects. Epiphytes are plants that grow on other plants, mainly trees, without harming them. They include orchids, bromeliads, and ferns. These plants absorb moisture and nutrients from the air and debris around them. Food in the Amazon rainforest. The indigenous peoples of the Amazon rainforest have developed a rich culinary tradition based on the natural resources available in their environment. Their diet is primarily plant-based, supplemented by fish, meat, and insects. Cassava, also known as manioc or yuca, is a staple food in the Amazon. It is a starchy root vegetable that is ground into flour and used to make various dishes, including bread and porridge. There are two types of cassava, sweet and bitter. The bitter variety contains cyanide and must be processed to remove toxins. Acai berries are harvested from the acai palm and are a crucial part of the diet in the Amazon. These berries are rich in antioxidants and are often consumed as a smoothie or juice. Acai has gained global popularity as a superfood. Pirarucu, the pirarucu, also known as arapaima, is one of the largest freshwater fish in the world. It is a vital source of protein for the people living in the Amazon. Pirarucu is often salted and dried for preservation. Tucaca is a traditional soup made from tucupi, a yellow broth extracted from wild manioc, jambu, an Amazonian herb with a numbing effect, and dried shrimp. It is a popular street food in the Amazon region. Kupwaku is a fruit related to cacao and is used to make sweets, juices, and ice cream. The pulp of the fruit is rich and creamy, with a flavor reminiscent of a mix between chocolate and pineapple. Number 7. Conservation challenges. Despite its vastness, the Amazon rainforest faces significant threats from deforestation, illegal logging, mining, and climate change. These activities have led to habitat loss, biodiversity decline, and disruptions in the lives of indigenous peoples. Conservation efforts are ongoing, with a focus on protecting the forest, preserving indigenous cultures, and promoting sustainable development. However, the challenges are immense, and the future of the Amazon remains uncertain. The Amazon rainforest in Brazil is a vital component of our planet's ecological health, cultural heritage, and biodiversity. It is a region of incredible beauty and complexity, offering invaluable resources to the world. Protecting the Amazon is not just a regional concern but a global imperative, as its preservation is crucial for the health of the entire planet. The history of the Amazon rainforest in Brazil is rich with significant events that have shaped the lives of its indigenous tribes and the region as a whole. Here are some key historical events and periods that have impacted the Amazon and its inhabitants. Number 1. Pre-colonial era. Before European contact, the Amazon rainforest was home to numerous indigenous tribes, some of whom had complex societies with sophisticated agricultural practices, trade networks, and large settlements. Archaeological evidence suggests that indigenous populations in the Amazon may have been much larger than previously thought, with some estimates reaching millions of people. These societies engaged in practices such as terra preta, the creation of fertile soil, and managed forest gardens, which shaped the landscape of the Amazon long before European arrival. Number 2. First European contact, 1500s. The first European explorers arrived in the Amazon in the 16th century. The Spanish explorer Francisco de Orellana is often credited with being the first European to navigate the Amazon River in 1541 to 1542. During his expedition, Orellana encountered numerous indigenous tribes, some of whom were hostile. The tales of fierce female warriors he reported led to the naming of the river as Amazon after the mythical Amazons of Greek mythology. Number 3. Colonial exploitation and missionary activities, 1600s to 1800s. The Amazon rainforest became a site of intense missionary activity as European powers, particularly the Portuguese, sought to convert indigenous populations to Christianity. Jesuit and Franciscan missionaries established missions in the region, often forcibly resettling indigenous tribes and disrupting their traditional ways of life. During this period, many indigenous people were also enslaved and forced to work in agriculture and other labor-intensive industries. The rubber boom, late 19th century to early 20th century. One of the most significant historical events in the Amazon was the rubber boom, which began in the late 19th century. The discovery of the vulcanization process made rubber an essential material for industrialization, leading to a surge in demand. The Amazon rainforest, rich in rubber trees, Hevea brasiliensis, became the center of the global rubber trade. During the rubber boom, thousands of indigenous people were forcibly conscripted into labor to harvest rubber. The conditions were brutal, and many indigenous workers suffered from violence, disease, and exploitation. The exploitation during this period led to a significant decline in the indigenous population, and the impacts of this era are still felt today. The rubber boom also led to the growth of cities like Manaus and Belém, which became important economic centers in Brazil. However, the boom eventually collapsed when rubber seeds were smuggled out of Brazil and planted in Southeast Asia, where rubber plantations became more profitable. Number 5. The creation of indigenous reserves, 1980s present. In response to growing international pressure and indigenous activism, the Brazilian government began to recognize the rights of indigenous peoples in the Amazon and establish indigenous reserves. These reserves are legally protected areas where indigenous tribes have the right to live according to their traditions and manage their land. The demarcation of indigenous territories has been a crucial step in protecting the Amazon rainforest and its inhabitants from deforestation, mining, and other forms of exploitation. One of the most notable examples is the Yanomami Indigenous Territory, created in 1992 after years of campaigning by indigenous leaders and environmentalists. However, despite these protections, indigenous territories in the Amazon continue to face threats from illegal logging, mining, and agricultural expansion. Number 6. Modern indigenous activism and environmental conservation, late 20th century present. In recent decades, indigenous tribes in the Amazon have become increasingly involved in environmental activism and the fight for their rights. Leaders like Raoni Matuktar of the Kayapo tribe have gained international recognition for their efforts to protect the Amazon from deforestation and industrial development. Indigenous groups have also formed alliances with environmental organizations and international NGOs to resist destructive projects, such as the construction of dams, roads, and large-scale agricultural developments in the Amazon. The Belo Monte Dam, for example, was a highly controversial project that faced significant opposition from indigenous groups due to its impact on the environment and their way of life. Number 7. Deforestation and land conflicts, 20th century present. The Amazon rainforest has been a battleground for land conflicts, particularly since the mid-20th century. The Brazilian government's push for economic development led to policies encouraging the settlement of the Amazon region, including the construction of highways like the Trans-Amazonian Highway and the promotion of cattle ranching, agriculture, and mining. These policies resulted in widespread deforestation, loss of biodiversity, and violent clashes between indigenous tribes, landowners, and settlers. Indigenous leaders, such as Chico Mendes, a rubber tapper and environmental activist, emerged as prominent figures in the fight against deforestation and the exploitation of the Amazon. Mendes was assassinated in 1988, highlighting the dangerous conditions faced by those defending the forest. Number 8. Recent developments and ongoing challenges. In the 21st century, the Amazon rainforest continues to face significant challenges. The election of Jair Bolsonaro as president of Brazil in 2018 brought a wave of policies that weakened environmental protections and indigenous rights, leading to an increase in deforestation rates and land invasions. This period has seen renewed conflicts between indigenous tribes and illegal loggers, miners, and land grabbers. However, indigenous tribes have also become more organized and assertive in defending their rights and territories. The use of technology, such as GPS and drones, has allowed them to monitor and report illegal activities in their lands. Additionally, the international community has continued to pressure the Brazilian government to protect the Amazon and its indigenous peoples. The history of the Amazon rainforest and its tribes is one of resilience and resistance. Despite centuries of exploitation, displacement, and violence, indigenous peoples of the Amazon have managed to preserve their cultures and continue to play a crucial role in the conservation of one of the world's most important ecosystems. The ongoing struggle to protect the Amazon and its inhabitants is not just a regional issue but a global one, as the fate of the rainforest is inextricably linked to the health of the entire planet.
For more ultimate facts, subscribe our channel.